Welcome to the Write, Publish, Market podcast. If you're a business owner thinking a book would be a great marketing asset for your business, you're in the right place. Maybe you've already committed, even better. I'm your host, Jodi Brandon, book publishing strategist and partner for business owners, CEOs, and entrepreneurs, and 20 plus year veteran of the book publishing industry. On the Write, Publish, Market podcast, in addition to learning from me and other industry experts, you'll hear from other business owners about their experiences as we explore all facets of writing, publishing, and marketing a book that will help your business grow in ways you might not even be dreaming of yet. I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, business owners. Let's talk about podcast guesting today, which seems a little weird since it's a solo episode, but stay with me. We are talking today about 3 reasons why podcast guesting needs to be part of your long-term book marketing and visibility strategy. So if you have listened to this podcast ever before, you have probably heard me say that book marketing is so much bigger than your launch day, your launch week. It is a long-term piece of your business ecosystem now that your book is published, right? It is not, all the platitudes are true. Book marketing is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You got to be in it for the long haul, all of the things. But it doesn't have to be exhausting. So let's think about 3 ways that podcast guesting should be part of that strategy and why. So number 1, it's something else to repurpose. It's another piece of content in your content library to repurpose. You know, I'm a big believer in repurposing content when it comes to writing your book. I am also a big believer in repurposing when it comes to marketing your book. It gives you longevity, right? It allows you to have something else in your content library that you can pull out when you're like, oh, I need something to promote in my email newsletter this week. I need something to put on social media. I need something else to talk about. You have this another piece in your content library to put out there and repurpose. So that is never, ever a bad thing as a business owner, right? We can't have too much content. So number 2, the podcast host on the podcast you're going on to already has know, like, trust. They've built up that know, like, trust factor, and that then extends to you. I have found some of the biggest bumps in my email list when I appear as a guest on someone else's podcast. And I have been told the same by people who are guests on this podcast. I don't think that that's, something special to me and this podcast. I think that's just sort of, a built-in bonus of having a podcast and being someone who goes on podcasts. It's already a warm audience that you're talking to. And what that means is, the ripple effect of that is what you're really interested in. Because what it does is allow you to shorten that nurturing cycle. It allows you to shorten the sales cycle and then get to those sales multipliers more quickly, right? Whatever your goals are for your book, filled programs, wait lists for your signature offer, higher quality lead gen, all of those things. Getting people to buy your book to get to that point, or even if they're not buying your book, honestly, if they're going to be buying anything from you, the sales multiplier is huge. You've heard me talk about it before. I did an episode on this that I'll link in the show notes below. Basically, it's all of those things that you can do to increase the value of a sale when someone has already decided to spend money with you. Upsells, downsells, tripwires, order bumps, all of those kinds of things, right? Somebody has already decided to spend money with you, which as a business owner, you're happy about. Why not increase that? Hey there, business owner, an aspiring or published author. Sorry to interrupt this episode. Just wanted to check in and see if you're subscribed to Coffee and Commas, my email newsletter, where I share behind the scenes, industry info, and much more about writing, publishing, and marketing a book for your business. Sign up at bit.ly/coffee and commas sign up. That's all lowercase. Now back to the show. Now, you have to be selling directly in order to do that, which if you listen to the last episode of this podcast, you are clear on why that is and some ideas on how to do it. But, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any of the book retail sites, they're not doing this for you. They're making money for themselves. They're not interested in making money for you. So you need to be able to handle all of that infrastructure yourself. But shortening that sales cycle is the ultimate goal, right? Whether you're trying to make money through your book or through some other, speaking or your other courses and products and services, et cetera. if you can shorten that sales cycle, that's never a bad thing. And a great way to do that is to be talking to a warm audience. And when you are a guest on a podcast, that is an already warm audience, because that know, like, trust factor that the host has built extends to you as a guest. So that's number 2. Number 3, third reason why podcast guesting needs to be part of your long-term strategy is this kind of goes hand in hand with number 2. It helps shorten that sales cycle because it warms people up quicker. When they hear your voice or see you, if it's a video podcast, right? It lets them hear you. It lets them see you. It lets them get to know you. It lets them hear how smart you are, everything that you know about, your zone of genius. It lets them have a little glimpse into, the way you teach, or the way you talk about your topic, or the way you approach your topic, or, whatever the case may be, depending on the structure of the interview. But again, it can get that audience from cold to warm quicker. And then again, going back to the last point of shortening that sales cycle for you. A little bonus tip here. The beauty of this also is that it doesn't just have to be at the time of your book launch. Going on podcasts around the time your book is launching, of course, is wonderful. But as I said at the very beginning of this episode, book marketing is a marathon, not a sprint. And when the book comes out, that is not the end of the process. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of another process, right? It's the end of the book writing publishing phase, but it's the marketing has to be an ongoing long-term thing. So one of the great things about podcasts is that generally they're evergreen. So you don't just have to do this when the book is coming out. This is an easy way to, talk about the book later on, 6 months after it's published, a year after it's published, even 18 months after it's published. I talk a lot about, that big ongoing effort when the book first comes out during launch day, launch week, launch month. But then you've got to have some system in place for ongoing marketing. And for a lot of business owners, what that looks like is, something small, like once a week, something like that, and then a bigger push each quarter. And this is a great way to get that bigger push each quarter, because it's something that allows you to get in front of other audiences. Again, talk about the book, talk about the other, services and products and everything that you have that you're also, promoting in the book. But it doesn't have to just be around the time of the launch. This is a great, great, great way to do that ongoing marketing, which is so important, because that's how you get ROI from your book. Because it's not just in book sales from launch week. It's about feeding people through your funnel and getting them to that end point, whether that's, filling a signature program, creating a course, et cetera, et cetera. All of those things that you establish as your goal for the book. This is a great way to help you get there. So hopefully podcast guesting is on your radar as, a piece of your book marketing puzzle. And if it's not, then I certainly hope that this episode convinced you that it should be. So until next time, friends. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Write, Publish, Market podcast. I know just how busy business owners and CEOs' schedules are, and I'm grateful you've taken some time out of yours to spend with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, take a quick screenshot and share it on social to let others know you're listening. Use the hashtag Write, Publish, Market to spread the love.